Mr. President, we so appreciate you giving us an hour of your time. I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabid to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question in such a horrible manner, a first question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country, including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for black workers and black entrepreneurs. I've done so much.
Capitalism.
And, you know, and I say this, historically black colleges and universities were out of money. They were stone cold broke. And I saved them and I gave them long-term financing, and nobody else was doing it. I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that. And let me go a step further. I was invited here, and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense. And then you said, you can't do it with Zoom. Well, you know, where's Zoom? She's going to do it with Zoom, and she's not coming. And then you were half an hour late, just so we understand. I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working or something was wrong.
Mr. President, I would love if you can answer the question on your rhetoric and why you believe that black voters should trust you with another 4 years.
I have been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln. That's my answer.
Better than President Johnson, who signed the Voting Rights Act?
For you to start off a question and answer period, especially when you're 35 minutes late because you couldn't get your equipment to work in such a hostile manner, I think it's a disgrace.
Let me just ask a follow-up, sir, and then we'll move on to other questions here. Some of your own supporters, including Republicans on Capitol Hill, have labeled Vice President Kamala Harris, who is the first black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president and be on a major party ticket, as a DEI hire. Is that acceptable language to you? And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define
diversity, equity, and inclusion?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that what your definition?
Give me a
definition then. Would you give me a definition
DEI.
of that? Give me a definition.
Sir, I'm asking you a question, a very direct question.
Define it for me, if you would.
I just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much, and she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always identified as a black woman.
I respect either one. I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe that
I think somebody should look into that too when you continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
It's a direct question, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is a DEI hire, as some Republicans have said?
I mean, I really don't know. Could be. There are some, and there are plenty. I know this lady right over there, Harris, is a fantastic person who just interviewed me at length, and we had a great interview, I think, and I heard you got very good ratings on that interview.
What an absolute train wreck. Just an epic disaster of an interview Donald Trump was at the convention yesterday for black journalists. And it's just the usual stuff of Donald Trump playing the victim card and how, oh, I'm being treated so badly. What a nasty question. Nasty. You're just a nasty person. You didn't even introduce me. She did introduce you, dipshit. She said, thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedule to talk with us today. She literally greeted you right there. But no, like every mega cultist, play the victim card. And then you go on with lies and lies about how you are the best president for black people. Black. What is this emphasis that Donald Trump does with putting emphasis in word black, China. Just, it's black, China. That's all you have to say, buddy. You're not even the best president. You're a horrible president. In fact, you're not even the best. You're not even the top racist president we've ever had. You're not even the best at that. You're never the best at anything. All this woman did was ask you a simple, straightforward question. A question that gives you a chance to clear the air and say, look, maybe my words were taken out of context in the past, etc., etc., etc. She gave you a platform to explain yourself. But no, you went on with making a bunch of excuses, and thankfully the crowd laughed at you for each and every single excuse you came up with. All this reporter did was show off your long, repeated history of racist attacks against African American people in this country. And it even goes back to calling into question previous President Barack Obama and his birth certificate. Calling into question about, oh, well, he's Hawaiian, he's not black or Hawaiian. And now you're doing the same exact shit with Kamala Harris. Or as you say, Kamala Harris. Again, you can't pronounce anybody's name correctly. She even brought it up that you wined and dined on a holiday with a known, proven white nationalist, white supremacist, Nick Fuentes. That in itself should have been an automatic disqualifier, a deal breaker for many Americans, Republicans who claim to not be racist, yet they're always caught propping up racists like Nick Fuentes. They're always propping up the KKK. They never once denounced them. And Donald Trump, the reason there was a 30-minute delay wasn't because of their equipment malfunctioning. No. There was a 30-minute delay because you were demanding that they don't run a live fact checker to call you out on your bullshit, which is what a lot of mega cultists do. They don't like being called out for their bullshit. They think that being called out for their lying is a obstruction of free speech. No, it's not. It's just calling you out for your bullshit. And then that brings us to the second question that she asked him was to give him a chance, a platform to denounce the DEI attacks or the accusations of the DII hire that many of his allies are considering Kamala Harris to be. That she's a DEI hire for the office of the presidency. And again, he just does what every mega cultist does. They can't define it. They can't define what DEI is. She needs to say it to him, and he still doesn't get it. Which is the same thing as asking him, what is woke? They can't define it. They don't have an answer for you. They just hurl insults at you instead. And then after that, Donald Trump talks about, her Indian ancestry, her Indian heritage. That's all he knew about her, and then just one day she just decided to be black. Trying to make it out about how she had a choice. Like she just decided to be black to fit whatever narrative she wanted to push. Which just the hypocrisy within that comment of Donald Trump, considering the large amount of ancestry he has, multiple nationalities from his ancestral background throughout all of Europe. And that falls in line with many Americans, even myself, white Americans such as myself. I have about 7 nationalities that I descend from. You can't really find any American that has ancestry from one specific European country. Trump was given an opportunity during this convention to denounce white supremacy, and he failed miserably at it. Just like back in the 2020 elections in the second debate against Joseph Biden, where Chris Wallace, the moderator of that debate, gave him the opportunity to denounce white supremacy. And he deflected and said, stand back and stand by, completely refusing to denounce white supremacy. And that's unfortunately what has come to the Republican Party today, is they can't and they absolutely refuse to denounce white supremacy, the Ku Klux Klan, because they need the racist vote. They need that Christo-fascist white supremacist vote. They need that vote in order to win an election. And that is the truth. Sad, sad truth, unfortunately. And what's even sadder is there's a certain community out there that defends Donald Trump's racist past and many other racist viewpoints that the Republican Party wants to embrace these days. And you can find them on YouTube. The Uncle Ruckuses of the internet, I like to call them. And you probably know who they are. But I'm not going to really give them the platform. I've talked about a few of them on this channel before. And it's just sad what's become of the American right today. Just absolutely pathetic. And what a big train wreck this whole interview was. It should be front page material on newspapers, and it should be all over the national media, but it's not. You know, the same way they covered Joe Biden's bad debate performance, how it was non-stop covers 24/7 for 3 consecutive weeks. And most likely, they'll bury all of it. The media will bury all of it by the week. They should be demanding Trump's resignation. They should be demanding that Trump stand down and drop out of the race. For what a complete racist this guy is. How this guy can't pronounce anyone's name correctly. How forgetful he is. Mixing up election dates, which I've talked about in the past. Very weak demeanor. Just how out of shape this guy is. And the national media is not going to say a thing about it because they want to keep him around for the ratings. And I'm going to send you guys off on one last little bonus clip here. Right after this disastrous interview Trump had, he went off to another one of his rallies. And Alina Habba, one of his former lawyers, had a speech there as well. And again, just emphasizes the racism of the American right wing, unfortunately, at this time. Go ahead and take a look at this, and I'll leave you with another clip after that. Just how stupid this woman really is.
I am a strong woman, a mom, a lawyer, and an American. And unlike you, Kamala, I know who my roots are. I know where I come from. And I don't play around with the Constitution.
I don't think I would be on TV or sitting here if I didn't look the way I look. I think I caught attention. I'm very honest about that, and I don't mind. I'm not a feminist, okay? I believe in strong women, but I want my door opened. I am very much an old school, my parents are Middle Eastern, old school woman. I when I'm at home, I cook, I have a husband, I respect, I know how to turn it off. But do I not think that if, I'll tell you something. Somebody said to me, Alina, would you rather be smart or pretty? And I said, oh, easy, pretty. I can fake being smart. But
I meet them all the time, Alina.
See, the thing is, Alina, is you can't fake being smart. You prove it to us every single time you open your mouth. We saw your court filings We saw the live viewings of the Trump's trials. We saw the post-trial interviews, and we saw this interview on the podcast. You're not smart. You're dumb. You're the dumbest of the dumb. You're just a dumb bimbo, and you proved how dumb you are.